You're listening to Cool Air Hot Takes.
All right, listener, welcome to Cool Air Hot Takes. This is a podcast where every couple of weeks, me and my buddy Dan here, we get together, bring you a couple hot takes. We talk about anything and everything from the world of HVAC, energy, and the built environment.
We are your hosts. I'm Dan Gentry, and
I'm Charlie Jelen.
First, we got a little PSA for everybody. This is the last episode of Season 3, but certainly not the least. Thank you so much once again for coming along. This has been a wild podcast ride, and stay tuned for much more.
All right, we have covered a lot in this season, so I'm going to walk you through a couple of the things just to jog your memory. Go back in your reels and go listen to these ones. But we covered liquid cooling in data centers with none other than NVIDIA's Ali Hadari. We covered the idea of bring your own power and how to fuel data centers with Geronimo Power. We covered how companies like Autodesk are building products that allow designers and engineers to visualize the built environment digitally in more and more ways. And then finally, we spoke to the one and only HVAC legend, Mr. Mick Schwedler, and what a lifetime in the industry looks like.
And folks, even though this is the last episode of this series, the good times do not stop here. Today, we are joined by Mobola Dosumu. She's a national sales manager for heat pumps at Everllence, an organization that focuses on helping industries decarbonize. And here's a fun fact for you. About 60% of the world's trade is powered by engines from Everllence. So think about your shipping containers and all the way down to power plants. So pretty cool stuff I'm pretty excited about.
Really fringing on our stat of the day territory there. Holy cats.
This is fun. This was very fun.
I like that.
We also have, of course, the latest HVAC headlines and your stat of the day.
The actual stat of the day, not the intro stat of the day.
I love it. First, should we do some hot takes?
Before we get to hot takes, I got to know what's going on at the Gentry establishment household tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
What do we have tonight?
Let me ask the question behind the question. I got told this morning that I'm taking Millie to dance, but I need to pick up Piper on the way. I was like, oh, all right.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully my wife isn't listening, but she probably is. I'll have to look at my calendar. There's some dance thing I heard about.
Well, I'm taking her.
So
I'm on the hook. What are you doing tonight?
I have a haircut at 5. Maybe that's what time.
Okay. I'm glad I can help the Gentry family with your haircut.
Well, it's me and Mav. So, I mean, it's,
yeah, okay.
You're helping out half of the family,
Got it.
So we appreciate the effort, so.
All right. Hot take time. I got a hot take. This came from a little project we did over the weekend. So we're building a little cabin out on a piece of land we call the homestead. Mm-hmm. And it's 24 by 24. Yeah. So it's not a huge building. So we're going to put a mini split in it to heat and cool it.
That's what they're made for.
Can absolutely handle that. We upsized a little bit to make sure it could handle all the heat. It's really like tall ceilings. Mm-hmm. Incredibly easy. My hot take is if you want to add heating or cooling to a room, to a small building, do not be afraid to do a mini split heat pump on your own. The one that I got had pre-charged line sets along with pre-charged condensing unit.
Is that just like wound up it's like a flexible pipe?
Yeah, well, they're copper lines that are insulated, and then there's just refrigerant in the lines.
Oh, okay.
And they're just wound up in like a 2-foot diameter reel. You just unroll it and then you hook them up. I couldn't even believe it. Because usually if you don't do the pre-charged lines, you have to evacuate the system. So you have to get a vac pump and pull the system down, make sure that it holds so that you don't have any moisture in there. With this one, it's just hook the line sets up. You mount the units inside, outside.
You got heating, you got cooling. It's sweet. I love it.
It's great. What do you got for today?
My hot take, it revolves a lot of equipment stuff as always.
Is this a hydronics chiller hot take? Because I think we got to cut you off at some point.
This will be a quick one, but
no,
the take is oil-free doesn't mean maintenance-free. Yeah, the maintenance to the oil system is gone because you've removed that, but it's still a mechanical piece of equipment with moving parts.
Yep.
And really, the oil system is just replaced with a magnetic bearing controller, which is a computer and sensors, and those things need to be calibrated, maintained, all that kind of stuff. So powered.
This is like directly related to Joe Hager. Season 1, episode 2, his hot take was don't fall in love with the bearing technology. And this is right in line with that conversation. New technology that's coming in right now is gas bearing. Mm-hmm. They're all going to have pros and cons. They will all 100% need some sort of maintenance.
Yes. Remember, it's a piece of equipment, needs to be maintained.
I like it.
That's my
Good
take.
one. All right, listener, up next, HVAC headlines.
HVAC Headlines. Your news today.
All right, listener, it's 5:35 in Tijuana. Here's your headlines. Headline number 1. Should I cover my AC unit in winter?
I'm excited about this one.
Well, Dano, you found this one. This is good.
I got to contribute.
This is from Tom's Guide. What's your thought on it?
Well, I thought it was kind of neat because it's something I've always thought about.
What we're talking about here, the condensing unit is the thing that sits outside. It's usually like a block. It's got a fan in it. There's a compressor in there too. You usually don't see that. The question is during the winter, should you cover that up and protect it from the elements?
And you see a lot of people that do.
You do.
And I've always thought about it, but I've never done it. And then I stumbled upon this article, and the short answer is no.
No.
Don't do it because you can get moisture buildup, rust. You can make a nice warm environment for animals to come into. So it doesn't actually help do anything because getting snow, it's an outdoor unit.
It's made for the elements.
It's made to be outside anyway. It would only apply to air conditioning because if it's a heat pump, it's heating and cooling, so you can't cover it. So it's in the elements anyway.
If you've got a heat pump and you're covering it up,
that's a bad idea.
You're going to get some real problems going there.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
It's a good one.
Interesting. So don't cover your unit, just maintain it.
That's what we're here for. Just giving the people tips left and right.
Oh man, now you know.
All right. Headline number 2. How can artificial intelligence increase HVAC profits? 5 strategies transforming the industry with 40% productivity gains. So I read this one, and this one caught my eye because in general, I think there's a massive question in the world right now, especially in North America, is how are data center and AI companies going to get a return on the trillions of dollars that are going into the AI and data center space?
That's the question right now.
Right. So I'm going to read through it. First one here, predictive maintenance reduces unexpected equipment failures by 50%, cutting expensive replacements and emergency repair costs. That seems very obvious. What I think is interesting is, let's say you've got a rooftop unit and it's set to hold 55 degrees when you're in space cooling. If that machine can't get there, let's say it's 58, 59, 60 degrees, a temperature that you're probably not going to notice. You're not going to get hot, cold calls, from the occupants of the building. But there's clearly something going on in the unit itself. I think every unit probably throws off warnings all the time, but those warnings don't go anywhere. They often get overridden. In an AI workspace, you can take that information and actually do something with it.
Yeah. And the number too, it says 50%. That's a big number.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of that productivity comes from not having to pay the emergency costs.
Yes.
I like that one. The next one was energy optimization. I think that one's really straightforward. AI making your systems operate more efficiently, save money.
Yep.
Straightforward. Automation and administration efficiency, reclaiming time and reducing costs. So they're saying AI-powered automation saves 10 to 15 hours per technician by eliminating time-consuming administrative tasks.
That's weekly. So that's like 1 to 2 days of productivity.
That one's really high. So they're saying faster quote turnaround times, improved sales conversion rates, along with reduced paperwork errors and enhanced productivity. If that one's true, that one's huge. I haven't seen that one in practice.
Yeah, I think some of this stuff, high level, when you think about AI and what we think it should do, it's like, yeah, I think that's what it would do, but I think the proof is going to be in the pudding or whenever they figure it, they got to figure some stuff out.
So that one would be huge if it's real. Enhanced diagnostics and service quality, premium pricing for superior service. Real-time monitoring systems alert technicians to emerging issues, improving first response resolution rates and customer satisfaction. So this is just being more productive with when you go, knowing what's wrong before you get there.
Yep. So you're not just walking in blind.
Right.
Parts, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense.
Workforce optimization. AI analyzes project pipelines and seasonal demand patterns to optimize workforce planning, reducing overtime costs and improving productivity. Again, I think that is a platform level enhancement. I'm not sure if it's there. I think like Nuvolo, another train platform that does asset management, I think that would be where you would see improvements there. All right. Customer intelligence and targeted service marketing. I think it's pretty straightforward, but like analyzing customer behavior and marketing towards that behavior where you're having success.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
So what they say for ROI timeline, what you should expect. Year 1, quick wins in diagnostic efficiency and scheduling optimization. Year 2, predictive maintenance payback typically achieved, operational efficiency gains realized. Year 3 plus, sustained profitability improvements from premium service positioning and customer retention.
as long as all the stuff does what it's
I know. Well,
supposed to do,
yeah,
that's the plan, right?
It's such like the perfect like one,
Yeah.
2, 3. Like,
Okay.
I got benefit year 1,
Yeah.
year 2, year 3. It sustains forever.
Where do I sign up?
Yep. All right. Up next, Mobola Dosumu, National Sales Manager for Heat Pumps at Everllence. Don't go anywhere. Dano, listen. Can you hear it?
Hear what?
If your building's not speaking to you, it's time to connect with Trane's Tracer SC Plus tool. Tracer has the power to elevate performance for buildings of any age, size, or brand of equipment.
Yes. Nothing like a building reaching its full potential. Where can our listeners find out more?
Contact your local Trane account manager today or visit Trane.com. All right, listener, we have the National Sales Manager for Heat Pumps at Everllence, Mobola Dosumu. Welcome to Cool Air Hot Takes. How you doing today?
Thank you. I'm so excited to be part of this show.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on. All right. Well, we don't know each other. You know, we've worked together a little bit on some early project work, but I don't know much about your background. So where are you from? What's your background?
Okay. My name, as you guys mentioned already, my name is Mobola Dosumu, Sales Manager of the heat pumps business with Everllence. I've been in the energy industry for over 20 years.
What about personal? What's your favorite hobby?
In my downtime, you will find me in the kitchen. I love cooking and I love baking.
What's your cooking genre?
So I am from Nigeria and I do a lot of our local dishes because my family loves that. And Asian food. I love Asian food.
Well, we got a couple of fans over here.
Yeah. When Dan and I travel together, we try to find like the best Asian food we can in every city we're at. So you got
pretty good
friendly
at it.
company here.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we'll have to do a after podcast meet up and go try some good
Yes.
food.
We're down.
All right, let's get into the professional side here. So for our listener, can you give us a little bit of who is Everllence and what do you guys do?
So Everllence, it's a new name. We were formerly known as MAN Energy Solution. And just June this year, we rebranded. We, as an organization, we have a slogan where we say, moving big things to zero. We want to help our customers achieve that carbon neutrality goal that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And heat pumps, which is what I'm here to talk more about, to help decarbonize and electrify heat generation industry. I think a lot of statistics have shown that heat generation contributes about 40% of CO2 emissions, and half of that is related to industrial processes. So if we're able to bring our technology to that space, it will definitely move the lever in reducing the amount of CO2 emissions and help us with our mission to help our customers decarbonize their operations.
So we had Ruth Checknoff on from RTC, and her hot take, which I'm going to get to in a second here for you, was if we're going to meet any of our long-term decarbonization goals, we need to get after the industrial side of it. And you guys are a prime supplier into that ecosystem.
For sure, yes. And my hot take is in response to what she said.
Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
I like
What a great
this.
lead in. All right. So the name of the show is Cool Air Hot Takes. So we asked all of our guests that come on to bring a hot take with them. What did you bring for us today?
So my hot take is high temperature heat pumps aren't what's next. They're now.
Okay. All right.
Because I know she mentioned that what she would like is high temperature heat pumps to be available to achieve that decarbonization. But I'm telling her, you don't have to look any further. We got them.
All right. I like
Right.
it. I like
Boy, they're in the game. They're already changing the game.
We're going to dive into heat pumps here now, since this is your area of the business. And I think for our listeners out there, of all of the work that Everllence does, this is probably the area that is the most adjacent to us. So let's start with the basics. What is a heat pump?
So a heat pump is a mechanism to electrify heat generation. Traditional systems use a fossil-based methodology in generating heat. So you're burning natural gas to provide either hot water or steam. With a heat pump, what you're using is a heat pump cycle to generate that heat. Heat sources we're talking about, you can use river water, seawater, geothermal sources. A lot of data center waste heat is a hot topic right now of conversation. You can also use air as a potential free heat source.
Perfect. Okay, so heat pumps have been around for a long time, for decades. We've been using them in the heating space, and they've been limited in terms of our overall application of where we see heat pumps. Give us an idea of what is Everllence doing differently from a rooftop heat pump or a chiller heat pump or a chiller heater. What are you guys doing differently in the market?
We're not talking about residential heat pumps. We're talking about industrial scale heat pumps. The minimum capacity for heat pumps, megawatt thermal. And in terms of steam, the equivalent is about 34,000 pounds per hour of steam. So those are the sizes that we're looking at a minimum, and then we can go up from there. Additionally, we are able to provide those high temperature requirements at the heat sink. For hot water, we can get hot water up to 150 degrees Celsius and steam up to 350 degrees Celsius. So those are how we differentiate from what is available in terms of capacity, scale, and the temperature levels that you're looking at. Another key thing that differentiates us is our flexibility in terms of refrigerant. There are certain solutions that only use one versus the other. Because our solutions are custom engineered, there's no one size fits all, which can also be a challenge, right? What we're able to offer is that flexibility to use either natural refrigerant, such as ammonia, hydrocarbon, CO2 is on the table for transcritical cycle, and then or use a synthetic refrigerant. So those gives an overview of how we differentiate from what's available in the market on an industrial scale.
So I was going to say those temperatures are significantly higher than, say, what we would hear out of readily commercially available heat pumps in, say, the North American market today. What makes your solution different than, say, some of those commercially available solutions that are limited to significantly lower hot water supply temperatures?
What makes our solution different is we're taking advantage of the flexibility of refrigerants to get those high temperatures. And then we're using our compressor technology. It's our bread and butter. That's the core of the business for our industrial team. These are compressors that are used in petrochemical, air processing, oil and gas operations that need that high level of temperatures for the operations. So what we're doing is not new. We're just taking advantage of technology we already have in our portfolio and refocusing it towards decarbonization.
Are we talking like centrifugal compressors, recip compressors?
Yes,
what kind of
we're talking about centrifugal compressors, yes. For the heat pump solution, for our vapor compression cycle, we have our inline centrifugal compressor as one of the options we have in the portfolio that we can use to design a heat pump solution. We also have an integrally geared compressor as well that's available to use. And for our transcritical cycle that uses CO2 as a refrigerant, we use hermetically sealed compressor with magnetic bearings. So this was developed for offshore subsea oil and gas operations, and we're repurposing this to use within new locations and new industries specific to heat decarbonization.
How do you guys go to market? 10 megawatts is the smallest that you go. I'm assuming your bread and butter is more like 20 or 30 megawatts from what I've seen in the past. Do you guys have a product, or is it more of you're a custom builder for an application?
We're a custom builder for an application. That's one of the uniqueness of our solution to the market. Every application is different. Every boundary condition is different. So we design to each individual customer's application and their boundary condition. In terms of refrigerant, it talks about the flexibility. We're able to look at the different aspects and bring in different limitation. If you have a regulatory limitation of using one refrigerant versus the other, we can be flexible in that matter to design what the right fit for the particular customer is.
Where are you seeing success? I'm assuming Europe is further ahead than the US. I know of one or two installations here in the US, but kind of talk us through what's the recipe for success for Everllence heat pumps?
So recipe for success for us is, it's a mix of finding the balance between the right business case, the regulatory and policy environment. And as you mentioned, Europe is ahead based on the incentives and the drivers and the levers with the regulatory policies that they have there. Our very first heat pump project is in Esbjerg, Denmark. There we have the largest transcritical CO2 seawater heat pump that we're
Nice.
using for district energy application, displacing a coal heat generation district energy application. And what's interesting about this is it's combined with thermal storage. So there's a hot water tank where the customer is able to leverage opportunities of negative power pricing. The system is being powered by renewable energy, and Denmark is at the forefront of decarbonizing. That project, we achieved first heat, upstream oil and gas, you see first oil. In heat decarbonization, we call it first heat. First heat, December. December of last year. And the plant has been running, nonstop since then. So we're using seawater ranging between, 0 to 10 degrees Celsius, extracting heat from really cold temperatures and using that to deliver hot water about 60 to 90 degrees to the heat sink for that particular project. And it's been an inspirational project that we've seen a ripple effect on that. In Finland, we have an air-sourced solution that we're going to be deploying there as well. Coming back home to the United States, the really big one that we're looking forward to is with Vicinity Energy. They're the largest North American district energy provider. And they have a 3-stage plan to decarbonize their steam network to provide steam to downtown Boston and Cambridge area. The first part of that plan, they installed a 42-megawatt electric boiler. And phase 2 is installation of a 35-megawatt heat pump from Everllence. And this heat pump will be baseload for the entire operations. And we've signed the contract for that project, and it's moving full steam ahead. No pun intended.
Little engineering humor for you.
Full heat pump ahead.
Full heat pump ahead. They're looking to couple that with thermal energy storage as well. What's interesting about the project is Charles River is really close by. They're leveraging that as the heat source. We're sending back the water cooler and using the heat from the Charles River to power the heat pump cycle and deliver green steam to the customer. And there is a market. Customer is very excited about, getting this as soon as possible to deliver green steam to their end customers.
Absolutely. All right, last question. Magic wand time. If you had a magic wand, yes.
Gotta love the magic wand.
If you had a magic wand and you could change one thing in the industry to increase the adoption of Everllence heat pumps, what would it be?
If we didn't have to have conversations of business cases and penciling out, and it was just a matter of, let's do what's the best for the planet.
Just do it.
That would be my magic wand.
You went with the Nike slogan, just do it.
Just heat pump it.
Heat pumps everywhere.
Heat pumps everywhere.
I like it.
What about from a hurdle standpoint? Is there a key hurdle that you see as limiting adoption of your technology? Is there a policy? Is there an energy pricing? Is there a federal regulation? Is there a thing, or is it
There's not one thing.
mix?
It's a mix of different things. There is a cost to decarbonization. That's one thing. You have to make the business case work. Secondly is, for us, there's some projects we're talking to customers and they're like, where are we going to get the electricity capacity from, right? There's a strain on the different grids. And that's also a challenge because the demand keeps increasing with AI, boom, and all of that. I would say another thing, I mentioned that we're custom engineered, custom built, so there's not one size fits all, right? So that's a positive, but also is a challenge because we can't just do one engineering for everything and just say, okay, come get your heat pump. It's ready to go. You have it within 4 months, right? Everything is different because the nature of the different system have its individual peculiarities. So it's a balance of different areas. It's not just one thing.
The magic wand depends on the project.
Yeah.
All right, Mobola, thank you for coming on. Next time we're together, spicy Asian foods on us. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
It's nice meeting you all.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Ready to electrify your next HVAC project? Trane leads the way with heat pumps and heat recovery solutions designed to meet demanding market needs and evolving regulations. From project design to installation, Trane is your partner in smarter, greener electrification of heat. Want to stay ahead of the future of HVAC products? Don't miss out. Visit Trane.com today.
All right, listener, we've got another Dan in the factory. Dano, where'd you go this week?
Yeah, so this week we had some customers in testing a fan coil wall in our lab. So we get this big setup done. It's like a big wind tunnel almost, if you will.
Yeah, it's a big donut.
Yes,
Yeah.
the donut. And we have a commissioning agent that commissions data centers, and he's got some pretty cool experience and a fun little story. So enjoy. Today, I have Billy Rice with me, who is a mechanical commissioning agent. And we are in the laboratory here in La Crosse, Wisconsin. We're actually testing some fan walls for some data centers, and thought I'd pull Billy aside and ask some questions and see what he does every day. Billy, you want to say hello?
Yeah, hi Dan, Billy Rice here. We're here at the factory today for a client of ours and performing a factory witness test on some fan walls. Upcoming for tomorrow, we're going to do some chiller testing too, so I'm excited about that.
Nice. Fan walls and chillers. That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good little trip.
Yeah, it's a good thing to come to the factory and see a bunch of equipment that we don't normally get to see in this environment.
So can you give us a little background? So what do you do? What's a day in the life?
Yeah, so again, I'm a mechanical commissioning agent, so effectively everything that cools and or pressurizes air side for a data center, all the way from the server hall computer cooling to the support areas for comfort cooling. We oversee the quality of installation as well as the review and critique of factory startup and assist in such. And then once the respective trades have had the equipment energized and started it up and filled out all the checklists pertaining to, then our team is handed the equipment and we perform the functional testing and see that it does everything it's supposed to do.
That sounds like a lot.
Yes, yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. Our world is very interesting to me. Yes, you may be working on, an air handler as we have with us today or a chiller as we mentioned, but it's all the equipment that goes with the piping, the cooling towers, the pumps, the air handlers, the terminal units, the pressure sensors, all the data acquisition that goes within. Our automation systems are getting much more complicated. Everyone wants instrumentation and histories for all of the operations moment to moment.
Do you have a favorite piece of equipment or a system type to commission?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a big chilled water plant.
Aren't we all?
I'm a sucker for... I come to this world from the controls industry, and some of my very, very first challenges as a controls person was working in a chilled water plant. And it was those tough days and long nights that I learned, and I have great appreciation for pumps and cooling, and I just really enjoy all the stuff that makes the noises and makes it go. I really like it.
I'm a big chilled water chiller guy myself, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
What about as far as like struggles or challenges? What are some of the biggest challenges that you face?
Bringing capacity online right now is the name of the game, and we all are various manufacturers bringing equipment to site, shipping constraints, schedule constraints. We're just trying to turn over capacity, especially in the data center world, as fast as we can and trying to expedite the processes everywhere as possible. Everyone has different milestones that they're trying to get going earlier than later. It used to be that we would build a facility and walk away, and then that's when the Rube Goldberg machine of installing computers would take off. And now that's not the case. Now, as soon as we get the facility dried in and safe to be within and no longer a construction environment where people are working over their head, then teams are installing fiber optics and literally installing things that go for the servers, and the ball is already rolling. And so at time of turnover for the customer, it's a living and breathing entity at our integrated systems tests.
Speed.
Absolutely.
Name of the game. So we were talking for quite a while before this, so I know you have a lot of good stories. You want to pick a good story? Maybe it's a funny story, a horror story, a problem, whatever it is. I know I'll let you pick through your brain and tell us something interesting.
Yeah, so we were on a client site doing airside commissioning, and air tends to be an interesting thing because you can't see it. And the systems went through some power outages, and we were trying to recover, and the supply fans recovered before the exhaust fans did, and we greatly overpressurized a room and literally slid a wall on the floor. So that was not a great occurrence. Everyone reached and hit the EPOs and punched the doors open and got the pressure down, and there were no humans harmed in the process, but that one was an eye-opener of just how strong air pressure can be.
That's the first time I've heard of something like that. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, Billy.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to you.
Yeah.
And that's it for us. See you, listener.
All right, listener, I was actually here for that whole interview, and that was about an hour and a half cut down into that because Dan and Billy really hit it off. So that was pretty fun.
We're buds.
Friend of the show. Hey, better be a friend of the show after this one.
Oh, yeah, like and subscribe.
All right, up next, we got Stat of the Day.
Here comes your stat of the day. Stat of the day.
Stat of the Day. All right, listener, we got a fun one for Stat of the Day today. Thank you, Dan, for doing a little homework on this one.
I helped.
You did. This was a really good one. I am not going to lie. Dan sent me a message this morning, and he's like, hey, what about this for Stat of the Day? And I didn't know what to expect. And I got exactly what I expected. It was nothing to do with our industry or anything, but it is very funny. So here we go. This is from Reader's Digest, which I think is hilarious that
I'm reading Reader's Digest.
You're out there on Reader's Digest. Funny statistics about Americans that are hard to believe.
Here we go.
Number 1, 56% of Americans say using a coupon on the first date is not a deal breaker.
Sure, I love coupons. I just had some free French fries from McDonald's on my way here.
Dude, you got to dial back the McDonald's intake. Okay, but on top of this, 28% of that audience actually find frugality sexy and find budget-conscious partners more attractive.
Oh.
I hope Megan's listening.
I was going to say, I think this is like coming back a couple weeks if you think this is a thing.
All right,
so you're
next
sexy.
One. 66% of Americans are poop shy at work.
That's a high number. I mean, there's like stalls, you close the door. Some of them are personal and...
You know what's, like with 50% of America working from home, this number is really concerning. No, I'm kidding.
Tell you what, it doesn't seem like there's that much shyness at the office. But,
oh, geez.
Anybody
whatever. You want to call out in particular?
Nope. It's just a war zone in there sometimes.
All right. 41% of people think there is a sole group of individuals who secretly,
who secretly control events and rule the world together. That's a high number of
I couldn't get past the war zone.
Theorists. Guys, I'm losing my co-host over here. The stats are just too much today.
All right.
Take a deep breath.
I didn't finish that one. 41% of people think there is a sole group of individuals who secretly control events and rule the world together.
That's a high number of conspiracy theorists.
Wow, that's heavy. All right, next one. 58% of workers admit to regularly ghost working, pretending to work. 58%.
That's a lot of people pretending to work.
All right, last one. 34% of Americans are confident they'll be the only survivor of the apocalypse.
Hey, man, those Americans very confident.
A third of the population thinks they got it all figured out.
I wish I could say it surprises me, but I don't think it does.
All right, well,
some
listener,
fun stats.
That is a good stat. Way to go, Dano. That is a wrap for Season 3, Episode 6. Thanks for listening to this episode of Cool Air Hot Takes and every episode this season. We'll be back with Season 4 in a few weeks. But we won't all be back. We won't all be back. Much like great football teams who lose their best coordinators to be head coaches for other teams, we're losing our producer. That's right, listener. Elena is moving on to bigger and better things. We couldn't be more happy for you and sad for us at the same time. Thank you, Elena. You have been a huge part of the show. You've absolutely made it what it is today, and we are very much going to miss you.
Yes, we are. But we're going to keep the Cool Air Hot Takes train moving hot down the tracks. Remember, we want to be hearing from you for our next season. As always, send us questions and hot takes by 1, leaving us a comment on Spotify or YouTube. 2, leaving a review on Apple. Or 3, drop us a message at coolair.hottakes@train.com. Remember, we could be sending you some merch for those hot takes, so keep them coming. Don't forget, you also have to leave us a rating. 5 stars only, please. Until next time, stay cool and keep those takes hot.